Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing tonight? Right, oh, we're on a massive lag. We're on a massive lag already. This is fantastic. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, we're about a minute behind on the lag. So that's fantastic. Which does mean gonna be a little bit behind in the chat. Sorry about that, if that annoys anyone. It's gonna annoy me, so don't worry, it's not just you. Here we got so far. Hi Laura. Hello. Glad you're excited. And hi Tomo. Yeah. Let's go gays. Ha. Right, so this one's a bit different to the streams I've done before, because actually, first off, can everyone tell me if the sound's okay? Like, is the music overpowering? I've never actually been able to do music before. Is the dialogue quality fine? Is everyone okay with everything? I'll give it a moment. I'm gonna open a drink while the chat catches up. As anyone who came on the very sad and slightly passive-aggressive Patreon stream, which I think was just Laura, so sorry about that, Laura. I like to have alcohol while I do this. So howdy, can't stay long, but just wanted to say your video has had a huge impact on me. I brought it up in therapy this week. Oh my god! Oh Milo! That's really, thank you a lot. Music is fine. The music itself sounds fine. Music is perfect. It's quiet, but that's my preference. That's my preference too. The reason I'm not wearing headphones right now is because I can't talk while listening to music. But we need headphones later. Oh wow. I rounded in my right near the start. I assume you mean you came here right near the start. Can I be here for a bit? I need to sleep. Oh, thank you, Sean. Thank you for coming. I did this because this is what the time people voted for. I'm also very tired. Go away, Siri.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Siri's very rude. I'm sorry about that. So, for anyone who doesn't know, usually when I do a stream like this, it's a Trans 101 postmortem. And in Trans 101 postmortems, it's an educational show first and foremost. So the point is that any mistakes I made or anything I should have elaborated on more, I can do here, which means show that I'm not fallible, and I'm not infallible, and it means the education is as good as it can be. This video is a bit different. So what we're going to do today, because this is what people voted for on Twitter, is I'm going to watch the entire video of TOFA. If people who don't know what TOFA is, it's the tale of Frank and Alice, and then I'm just going to talk over it basically, and sort of tell you how I did different things, like the toilet scene. I know everybody who isn't on Patreon is very excited to see that, and I'm also going to talk about like the fall and the production and like how much work went into it, like the different ideas that came into it, and like the different Easter eggs that people might not have noticed. I may pause it, but I don't want to pause it too much because I don't want this to take all night. So yeah, let's first off see who we have. Yes, every few words for sound skips and repeats. I don't know how to fix that. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's something weird going on with the audio wise. That might just be the song that we're listening to. I don't know. No. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't let you do that. Do what? What can't you let me do, Tommy? God, we're really behind, aren't we? Likewise. Yeah, you are a little laggy though. Yeah, I know it's laggy. I can't really help that, sorry. Okay, echo-wise, maybe I can fix that by bringing the microphone closer to my face. Because maybe it's just that this room is actually quite echoey. Does that help? It's probably made me a fair bit louder as well, but everyone always moans that my videos are too quiet, so maybe that's a good thing. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit though, because it's in the yellow. Right, okay, so I mean, basically, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be... I hate how I look right now. Basically, we're going to be watching TOFA, and I'm going to be talking through it, and explaining everything I want and how I did it. I have some comments from the video, but if you have any questions that you want to ask me, then you can either do it here, or if you want to do it more immediately, so that I get it kind of in. Well, actually, it's laggy for you, isn't it? So it's not really going to work. But there's also Curious Cat if you want to be anonymous, or if you want to ask something a bit longer. And Curious Cat will be linked on the screen, so don't worry. Yeah, basically anything you want to know about how I made it, this is your time to ask, and I will answer as fully as I can, although I may not answer as fully as I can, because that might bore a lot of people with the technical jargon that I inevitably will get into. Freaking love passion fruit. It adds an interesting surreal vibe. Okay. The skipping continues, but it's less frequent. I don't know how to change that. No, it's a lag echo. Oh. Oh. Okay. Apparently everything just glitches and skips and then goes back half a second and repeats. I don't know how to fix that. As far as I'm aware, that's just an internet thing. And my connection is as good as I can make it. I've also like modified the bitrate and everything. Sorry, I don't know how to fix any of that. Someone mentioned 2001: A Space Odyssey. This song right now that's playing is Frank's theme. Yeah, I do want to give her a shout out. I forget their stage name off the top of my head. Because it's French. But the music they made for Frank Harris is just gorgeous, and I'm really thankful. We'll talk about it more when we get to it. What's this? It's a quote from Space Odyssey. Unions of brats unrelated. Great. What's the original song at the end of the video? I absolutely loved it. So what we can answer these questions now. Saves some time in watching it. The song at the end, I can play it actually. The original song is 6 Years on Dope by NoFX, but I changed the lyrics to be trans. The original song is about heroin addiction and living as a heroin addict. I changed it to be about living in the closet as trans. Yeah, my friends and I just spent what was it? We spent a good 2 days just sort of messing about with it. It was like really nice. We just got to chill out. We don't really get to chill out like that a lot of the time. And I learned that I can't sing. My plan was to just do shout singing, but shout singing is still singing, and it's hard, and like yeah, it's just as hard as real singing. So in the end, I basically just did a dramatic reading of the lyrics that I wrote or adapted more so. So yeah, I don't know, let's finish this song and then I'll get into the commentary. Alright, let's go back to we're gonna go back to instrumental music. There's a few questions which are quite good, and I'm gonna answer them now. Amazing hair transformation. I know, right? It's what happens when you have voluminous hair and headphones. Where was it? Gashin asks. So I can't speak and listen to music. Dyslexic. Can I just say it was a very touching video, and I did sweat a lot from where I was watching it. Thank you. where was it? Yeah, Zazie. It was a really good script, so I'm curious to hear how hard it was to get it to where it ended up. So if we want to talk about the script, which I'm happy to, I have been. This story has been battering around my head since 2016. I came out at the very end of 2015, and then I basically in February 2016 I had this idea of what if you did a play like a two-person play where you had a trans person and then them but before they came out, and just them those two characters talking. Wouldn't that just be really interesting? And originally it was like going to be like a two-person play, and that was the idea. And then I didn't really have the skill to write it, or the means to produce it if I did write it, so I never got round to it. And then I kind of fell in love with Jekyll and Hyde and used Jekyll and Hyde as a coping mechanism to actually deal with being trans. Because like the story of Jekyll and Hyde is basically Jekyll is an upstanding gentleman who has like always lived his life on the straight and narrow and like adhered to what society wants of him. But he's always had these desires deep down to be himself and like to do other stuff which wouldn't really be deemed societally acceptable. So he creates a potion which basically just disguises him and allows him to live out those ideas. And I've always thought of like, well, who's the real man? Is Hyde the real guy? Because that's like everything Jekyll is, whereas Jekyll is just the persona he puts out for society. So then I wanted to make a Jekyll and Hyde adaptation, so straight adaptation, but making Hyde a woman and making Jekyll a kind of quite neuroses-filled guy. And that was going to be like a trans allegory, basically. And then what was it, like 20... Then I watched the start of 2017 Get Out, and that was just like, oh wait, this film's great. I love this. And then that same year I read Stepford Wives, and I knew I wanted to make like a sci-fi allegory movie about the trans experience, because like Get Out was just so perfectly about what it's like to be black in the modern day, and Stepford Wives is so perfectly about what it was like to be a woman in the 70s, and arguably still now. And I wanted to do a trans version of that, so I created this idea called octahedron, where a meteorite crashes down to Earth and somebody interacts with it, and it switches them for their doppelganger, but we don't know if that's actually their doppelganger or what. And to us, they look exactly the same, but everyone in their family and around them start treating them like an imposter. And it was basically meant to be about, like, when I came out, everyone in my life acted very weird around me and kind of hostile towards me because I wasn't who they remembered. So let's just let that through. So I what was it? That was the idea. And then I watched what was it, in 2018, I went to Someone in the City, which is Britain's biggest like YouTube and online video convention. And while waiting for a panel, I was just watching a panel and didn't know what it was like, because I was just sort of there wasting time. So I just walked up to someone and asked them what it was about, and then neither of us knew what Minecraft was really. So we just got talking about Shakespeare. Then I went home that evening, and every time I've been to Sitsi or any other sort of networking event, I always like actually search the people that I meet that day, and I watched their most recent video, which was called Why Do I Hate Myself? And yeah, basically Ollie's video was the last jigsaw piece. It was the last piece of the puzzle that helped me figure out Frank and Alice, because it was this two-person play, then it was a Jekyll and Hyde adaptation, then it was like a kind of Get Out, Stepford Wives-esque sort of like existential sci-fi horror, and then that video essay, just Why Do I Hate Myself, was like, oh wait, that this is the way to do it. And then I've just been thinking about it this whole year, and by the end of this year, what was it, like, at the start of August, I like actually decided, okay, no, I'm gonna sit down and actually like write this, and I just like wrote the whole thing in like 2 days, and then like went through it a couple times to edit it and make sure it was all good, and make sure it was like solid, and asked my friend who's a like junior psychologist like check all the psychology stuff to make sure that's solid, and yeah, that's how it came about. It's been like a 5-year project, and I've just had it in my head, and everything I've been writing for those 5 years has been some form of Frank and Alice, which is why I knew I needed to make it, because if I didn't make it, then everything I would ever make was just going to try and be Frank and Alice. Jim John Jung, no, that's everyone, and I don't know what it is. Somebody said that it's something to do the audio, by the way, everyone. Someone said it's something to do with the lag. I don't know how to fix the lag at all. Like I don't know how I can do that. I'm sorry. Beautiful analysis. Thank you. I want to see the whole genre of stories where trans people encounter existential personifications of their dysphoria or of their other gendered self. See Ezra Dax in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'll maybe look that up if I can remember by the end of the stream. Tomo. And yeah, it's a cool genre that I kind of want to see. Like, I mean, Ollie's done it. The doppelganger isn't a new thing. Like, I also watched For Double, and that was like an inspiration for this, which is Richard Ayoade's movie, and also like Ollie has Mr. Not Good Enough. Natalie Wynn has Tiffany Tumbles, who I don't know if they're kind of the similar type of character, but I don't fully know if that is, because I don't know Natalie. I'm just saying I'm a lot now. Yeah, I feel like I've reached the end of that one. Is there any other questions here before we start the thing? So yeah, that's the development of the script. It's an amalgamation of lots of things, and one of the funniest things is Eric, my friend from the channel Curio. The one comment they left under TOFA was "You're just ripping off Get Out" in 4 capital letters, and it's like, yep, it's basically what I did. Basically, just ripped off Get Out. So it says that Natalie Wynn has a dozen or so characters that might be that kind of thing. Yeah, maybe. I don't quite know, because I more so view a lot of Natalie Wynn's characters as personifications of a viewpoint rather than parts of herself. But then again, every character that every creator of it does has to be part of themselves, otherwise they can't make them human. Although which is why I don't really like Binary Lover from the Insects video, because she's not very human. She's just a turf, like a cartoony turf. The Cognitive Society, is your audio setup new? You know, I think your video was amazing. I do honestly think I could end up being taught in classrooms. Oh, thank you. And so I've got a slightly new audio setup because I tried to figure out how to do desktop audio so that we can watch the video properly. But I don't know. I don't know if it's messing it up. Sorry. Hi Alice. I have to run off for dinner, unfortunately, but I wanted to pop in and say how much I love TOFA. Oh, thank you. It was beyond brilliant. I can't wait to see what you have to do in the future. I have lots of plans for the future. They're all as expensive as TOFA though, so they're not going to happen monthly. But we'll have Trans 101 videos in between. But we can talk about future plans for the channel after the thing. Okay, bye Harry. Have a good day at work. I presume people voted for this time because it was more convenient for them. Ow. Ah. Oh no. Okay. Oh fuck. you people who are jealous of my hair, don't be. Because this is the reality of it. Horrible. Okay, right, we're gonna start the video. How did that happen? Chop off the lump of my hair, fantastic. Yeah, F's in chat for my hair. Ow. Oh wow, this music is intense. Right, well we're going to stop the music now. And we're going to transition to this. Why is that weird? Oh, it's just flipped around. I'm an idiot. I am the biggest idiot on the planet. So let's actually start here. Oh, I am the worst. That happened to me, but it wasn't. Oh no. Oh, don't say that. Oh, that's horrible. No. I'm so sorry for your nerve endings. Oh god. I love that Cat and Maggie's put a T. Like, I'm so happy with that. Right, so basically, I actually do want to mention the trigger warning. We're also going to have this play bar here for the whole thing. I'm sorry about that. Sensory overload. Nobody ever puts sensory overload in their videos, and so many people should put sensory overload as a trigger warning for their videos. Like, come on. And like, a lot of this I don't really feel needs. Well, not a lot, but a few of this I don't feel needs to be here. Sensory overload though. More people put sensory overload in your freaking trigger warnings, because like, us autistics, we need to know when that's coming. It's okay if we can prepare for it. Right, so we're gonna just go through this and I'm gonna talk over it. We're hopefully gonna have the volume be okay. So I wanted basically to mimic the Trans 101 opening, because the opening of this, because people would only be used to me. I'm already going to pause this. This is going to be insufferable, isn't it? I wanted to mimic the Trans 101 opening, because that's all anyone's really ever seen from me so far. So I kind of wanted to like lull people into that false sense of security of oh, this is just like any other Trans 101 video. So originally the music I had there was just for Trans 101 theme, which is Junko by Zoe Blade. But then I decided against it, because this atmospheric music just kind of builds the tone of like, oh, this is new. And like the deep saturated colors, it's like, oh, this is like a heavier video. It's more saturated. There's more color in this. There's more here. But I still wanted it to also kind of feel a little bit like Trans 101. Like we're going into something familiar, but different. And I feel like we captured that well enough. Personal today. I was born at 1:45 on the 19th of July, 1996, in a small rural industry town called Emitted, because I don't want to be doxxed. Really should have omitted all of that. Gestation, I entered this world in half of it's fake. Don't worry, it's fine. Now, some of you might be aware that human gestation is only meant to be 9 months long, not 10.5. This is one thing that somebody actually called me out on. What was it? Because I want to get this correct. Basically, go for it. Human gestation takes between 37 and 42 weeks. On average, for phenomenon of overcarrying a baby is highly disputed in its length, severity, and medical meaning. Not all babies need to be induced at 2 weeks over their due date, and what's come about is an overcorrection in the opposite direction. What happens to you and what happened to me and the person who gave birth to me is awful. The medical professional should have done a better job by me. Many pregnant people are not treated with dignity, and being well informed is one thing to counter that. Basically, yeah, I in this video made it seem like, oh, if you're more than 2 weeks overdue, it's bad, and like your baby's gonna have to get stuck and get brain damage. No, I was a rare case. I was a very big baby anyway, and me being six weeks overdue is too long. But if it's longer than 2, it is fine. Like, we don't always need to induce labour after 2 weeks. But it's a precaution we have, and some people could argue that it's an overcorrection. But I'm not personally qualified on that. I was also just trying to tell my story, and I was trying to basically show how hard my life has been because of like circumstances in my life, and the fact that those don't even measure up to like the hardship that being trans has had on me. Way too big to fit through and got stuck. In order to actually get me out and deliver me, the doctors ended up overusing a risky bit of equipment called a ventouse, which meant they were breaking protocol. But it also means that my birth is... You only meant to use it 3 times.
Vacuum-assisted vaginal delivery. In English, I was sucked out by a Hoover.
I hate that shot. I wanted to reshoot it, but I didn't have time. It's like looking at my nose, and there's just a zit here, and it's
damaging my brain. But thankfully, though, labour is induced after the
turn it a video.
Is no more than
we can turn it a video.
Nowadays, so this should never happen to anyone ever again.
Is that a better level?
Due to the damage done to my brain, it was predicted that I would spend my entire life in full-time care. Now, thankfully, that didn't happen, but as a child, the notion of me being any level of independent would Tolkien-esque fantasies.
Yeah, it's a little bit nitpicky, but I also don't want to misinform people on something that important. Like, I don't want to misinform someone on that, so I want to make sure that it's clear here that
they don't hold a
I over-emphasised it a little bit for dramatic effect.
By the first 3 words I ever heard. Just 3 tiny words. He's a boy.
I'm so proud of that build-up. It's just a fantastic intro. Oh, also, this scrolling, I had to do that manually, frame by frame. Just quickly. I'm very proud of all the little things here as well. Yeah. These are things people have actually said to me on Reddit before.
Look, it's very clear that you hate me and everything I have to say, but can we not try and like maybe have a civil conversation where we talk about...
This is actually the first thing I shot for this entire video. Because it was the thing I was most worried about, so I wanted to like mess about with it in the edit before like doing anything else. I wanted to make sure I could get it correct.
The idea of it being trans is a mental...
I didn't know how it was going to translate.
No, I'm not mentioning that. And if you watch this video fully, you'll see, and I also care deeply about...
Firstly, no. One thing I didn't realise is I would actually have to change the opacity as different ones of me came up off the lower ones, because otherwise it just overlaps too much. And we don't like it fine and boring so one person just said a guy I worked with just had a child delivered at 34 weeks and passed away after 3. That's really sad. Purple. I'm sorry, yeah. But also that does remind me that one thing I was very sure to do in that speech, like the most important thing for me in that speech before this bit, was that I said pregnant people giving birth rather than pregnant woman giving birth, because like that small thing, no one notices it, but it's just trans inclusive as hell, and yeah. But let's continue with this. Oh, I actually fucked up my chin because I properly smacked myself in the thing. There's 2 stunts here. Let's watch the whole thing and get the title card, and then I'll explain how the stunts are done.
Look what the cat dragged in.
So the first stunt is the fall. I didn't actually fall from my full height, and the ceiling was like that, so like I couldn't have done it. How we did it was basically I had lots of pillows on the floor, and then I like crouched on a chair and just sort of dived in from the side of frame, and then we had to in the edit. Well, I had to in the edit. Just rotate the thing and zoom in a bit, and thankfully shot in 4K, so I was able to do that by a quarter of the size, and then what was it? For the next shot, I'm just doing a push-up and like properly pushing out, and then just let my arms go and just fall to the ground, and it's just from like 1.5 feet, so it's fine. It hurt, but it doesn't hurt too much. And then if you cut those two together very quickly, it works. And what I'm also really happy with is the fact that my head goes down to the desk, and then we cut to me falling. The original idea was, in the script at least, there's going to be this scene of me falling down a rabbit hole, which I actually built. I'm not going to get it out because it's over there. But I built like a kind of muddy wall out of foam. And it looks really good, and it shot really well. But the pacing was just really slow, and the idea was basically I was going to get lots of people to I got lots of people to voice these transphobic comments and like just anxieties and things, and it's meant to show that like I'm going down a emotional thought spiral, and what was going to be me was like an egg just to replace me, but it just felt too cartoony, and it didn't quite work, and like the pacing worked better from just me head moving down to me falling and then hitting the ground, and like it just read really nicely. And yeah, I'm really sad for like I asked like Kelly and Eric and Muke and Ollie and lots of other people to voice those things for me, and I have those now, but it's fine. It didn't work, and none of them have like moaned at me for it. A couple of Ollie's things did make it in, like the "they hate you" whisper, which I don't think anyone's actually noticed, but like when I'm sitting there like, oh my god, you just hear this whisper saying "they hate you," and that's just Ollie's voice laid up like 6 or 7 times, and then my head fall down, and the laugh is meant to also be Frank, because like Frank's meant to be able to throw his voice and do lots of different voices, because he's the voice in the back of your head, and the voice in the back of your head can have someone else's voice, as we see later on in this in like a couple minutes. So, but I don't quite feel like it reads like that. Maybe when you go back and watch it reads like that, because you know that Frank can do that trick. But I feel like it more so sounds like there's 2 different people there, which isn't a bad thing. It's just not what I intended. Oh yes, sorry, the other effect, me being pulled back. That I'm basically just sat on a skateboard, and we tied a rope around the skateboard. My mate, who was helping me out, went into the dark corner behind me, and then just pulled it, and we could see his face a little bit, but with color correction, we got rid of his face, and it was fine. And then I also had to animate a black square to go over me, because I don't fully go out of frames. Like I just make that square get bigger as I go backwards, and it's fine. And no one notices. And then also the title card distracts, so it's fine. This I'm really happy with, because that's me. And then the other guy is me too. And I'm interacting. That's why I've never seen 2 characters that YouTubers played in the same video.
Oh, there's a difference, alright.
Interact.
Your parents more.
So that was my main thing I wanted to do with Frank and Alex. I wanted to have them interact with one another. I wanted to have them like
I feel like I've lost my little boy, and
here's a trick.
every time I see you, I'm just reminded that I'll never get to see him again.
You ran off to London and left her to deal with all of the awkward questions. You left her to cry herself to sleep from grief for months.
And why?
So that you could play dress up. What a
Yeah, still have it built. I might use it for
selfish
something
little
else.
bitch.
The voices won't work for anything else though.
I didn't run. What would you call it then?
An escape.
But yeah,
Escape.
most people when they shoot scenes like
You
this,
grew
like
up
conversations
wanting for
between
nothing.
two characters
Your
they're playing,
teenage
just
fucking
shoot
parents
shot,
provided for you
reverse shot, and
perfectly.
you can't really. You can tell that they're basically just sitting
You're
in one
right,
chair
all things
for themselves,
considered,
sitting in the other chair for themselves,
hope
and cutting it
that's
together. This, I wanted to make it feel
Anytime
harder to
I
figure out
try to
how it
do
was
that,
done.
what feminines
Like, there's a lot of shot, reverse shot.
No,
Like,
you fucking
but
weren't. You
then there's also a lot of
narcissistic,
them actually
tranny
touching each
cunt.
other, and then being in the same shot like this shot. I love this shot. For one, it's just a really nice shot. It's nicely composed. But this looks like Frank. Why am I pointing at the screen? This looks like Frank. It looks like me from that angle. And like this facial hair is actually Damianis's facial hair. Because like Damianis is a dude and like has facial hair and grows it out. But I don't. I had to do makeup for that. Which my friend Annie helped me like make sure the wig was good and that I had like decent stubble, like because I couldn't do it very well myself. And yeah, like just this shot just adds so much more production value because one, I'm telling the story in every single shot in this scene. Frank is shot from below and Alice is shot from above, which shows that it makes her look less powerful and makes him look more powerful. And that was purposely done. In this scene, I wanted that to happen. And then I wanted him to interact, like him tying her wrist up. You can see that. And also, it hides his face. That means, like, no, you fucking weren't. Is the first time we see him. It's like this shot where he, like, comes right in our faces as we're below him, like, right in our faces. And it's a really, really aggressive shot, and I love it. Because it just introduces his character perfectly. How did I do the hair for Frank? If you mean facial hair, it's makeup magic. I don't know fully. I know that you can just use like mascara. Like I did Google because I wasn't sure if my makeup artist was going to be able to help out. So I Googled like how trans men like trans male passing videos, which I hate passing videos. But like basically when they have a little bit of hair, they just like highlight it with mascara of the same sort of color as our eyebrows, and that was how I was going to do it. But my friend did something similar. They used like a stipple brush and you can, Google like drag kings and there's plenty of tutorials about how that is done and how it's really cool. But just shots of them reacting, it sells it way more. Like this is me, this is my friend obviously, and when it's the other way around, it's my friend Sky, and then Frank is me. And it's my friend Sky wearing an Alice wig. Because they have like brown kind of straight wavy hair and like I have blonde curly hair, so like they're wearing an Alice wig and it's great. But yeah, so in this scene, just take a note that he is shot from below, she's shot from above to show the power dynamic. And it just sells it so much more. Like I just want to see more people like put effort into the shot composition.
In which the abuser, aka the gaslighter, manipulates their victim into questioning their reality and/or sanity. It comes from the 1944 movie called Gaslight, in which
also just want to point out
convinces his wife that the flickering
these
of the gas bulb lamps
posters.
she's
I
seeing
had actually got
is
this
all in
these
her
printed
head,
off.
which makes
So
her
like this one is
question her
Vsauce
perception
Freeze
of
logo,
reality
which is
and
my
her sanity.
biggest
But
YouTube
actually,
inspiration.
He's the one who's
Right,
causing
Jake
the gas
Roper
bulb
is
lamps to flicker
Bay.
as he
I
attempts to
stan
cover the
him.
murder
He
committed
is the
next door.
best,
But why is
and I
any of this
love it
relevant
so
to our
much.
story?
Trainspotting was a
Well,
big inspiration for this.
Let's imagine there's a little girl. One day she's out
Society
shopping
tying
with
you to
her
the
mum
tracks and
she
just
sees a
spitting
dress
on you
that she
forever.
really
Yep.
likes, so
Get Out
being
is
well-mannered,
obviously
she played
like Get
as
Out's
if she didn't
about
get it.
white people
But her
colonizing
for a chuckle
black people's brains.
that
This
will
film
point
is
to
about
Henry Jefferson,
cis
Another
people
example, same child,
colonizing
same
trans
parent,
people's
but this
brains.
time, the little girl asks her mum
Then the one
if she
behind my
can
head
write
is
Henry
Stepford
from a
Wives.
choral
I've already
round
mentioned
after
that that
school.
was an inspiration
The mum responds
in
with
the
a
development of this, and
genuinely confused
I
tone.
hate myself,
Girl,
but myself.
the girl
It's a
gonna
reference
do?
to Ollie's video.
Situations
all very
like
on the
this
nose,
keep happening again
but yeah.
and again and again and again
And also-
and again, and eventually the little girl just questions her
I'm very
own
happy with my
perception
emotions
of
here
reality
and how I
and
performed. I
her
also like how I look,
identity. Is she actually a girl?
and I also like that
Her mummy an
everything
adult,
is
and
blue.
Adults know better than children,
'Cause
so she must be a boy because her mummy said so. But as we all know,
My biggest thing was that the first thing I knew that I wanted to do going into this was the seesaw of shots, which I'll explain as we go through. But I also knew that it's distracting me. I also knew that I wanted Frank space to be red and the real world to be blue. So whenever it's blue, we're back in reality, and it's
She knows that if she does, then
either before or after. So like before the mental breakdown, it's all white. And just very overwhelming, and it's the mental breakdown happening. And then when we go into her mind and into Frank's space, into the metaphorical realm, the thing that's not actually physically happening, it's all very red, and she's wearing a red dress and all that. And then when we come back out of the emotional spiral into the real world, into stuff that's actually physically happening, into like her doing her job, making YouTube videos.
Like they have to be. Everybody treats
it's
her
blue.
like a boy.
It's like a nice sort of calm, sort of serene. This is the real world. I feel calm here. This is where I belong. Whereas in the emotionally turmoily, emotive fictional world of Frank's space, it's red and dramatic and oversaturated and ridiculous.
Shut up and keep her mouth shut.
And I was very clear that I wanted that to be there.
Alright, fine. You want to be a real woman so bad? You're going to need to fix that skin. No woman on earth has skin that rough. And then there's your face.
No, but we're still shooting him from below, still shooting her from above.
It's called a brow ridge. It's what men have because of male puberty.
Just poking.
Speaking of which,
it just sells the fact that they're two different characters so much more than just...
None of which will be fixed by taking fake hormones, so you're going to need to pay a plastic surgeon to peel your face off and grind all that shit down. Which sounds grotesque, but it's nothing compared to
point out to me,
freaking disgusting shoulder
he's saying lots of like really fundamental
things. No real woman has
like
gorilla shoulders and breadstick hips.
What the gruesome
do you think you're doing?
Facts of like what
the only way I can imagine you could actually pass as a real woman, or even have a chance of tricking somebody into thinking you're one, is to maybe wear A-line skirts for the rest of your life with.
But then he just goes to something really petty. He's just like, oh, and you know what's worst of all? You don't have any tits. The thing that like you can just grow by going on puberty.
You got no fucking tits, Alice.
Yeah. Oh god, this segment. Yeah.
I guess you'll just have to stuff a bra full of.
Is this where everyone cried?
Because
I was really expecting on like for watch time, but in this segment,
you're probably gonna have to buy many pairs of them.
There's gonna be lots of people just leaving the video, but it weren't. Like a lot of people powered through it, and I'm very proud of you for that.
Which will hopefully fucking happen on the operating table when you finally decide to mangle that pathetic ass dick into a fake ass fuckhole of a vagina.
Shut up! I just want to say, I don't actually believe anything he's saying. He's just saying like the worst feelings that trans women can have about themselves. Just want to say that. And this is her. This moment is her taking some power back in the situation. And like so, literally, he sits down, and now the shot is face on him. It's no longer pointing up at him. He is.
Split mind theory.
And it's face on her and her as well. It's not pointing down anymore. It's just face on both of them.
Idea about the structure of the mind.
The power is equal now. They both have the equal amount of power, and I'm so happy that it works. I know no one's gonna notice that at all, but I'm just.
There's just that little annoying voice in the back of the head.
He sits down and into the next shot, and it's just perfect.
And that's relevant because that's us. My entire life, I've just tried to live life and just be happy, but you've constantly been there.
This is the bit where the deck Frank meter peaked. Oh, thank you. No, yeah, I mean, we all want to punch Frank in the face, or at least I hope we do.
Have a happy life.
He's a cunt.
Yeah, because internally reinforcing the messages of my
this bit where you're giving an explanation of torture growing up that got me. Oh.
There's actually 5 moments in my childhood that I could have come out in.
I'm really happy with this performance from me.
Well, for one,
they both meet from Alice in this segment.
Wallpaper. She gave me a pair of her tights.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
To keep, but she ended up telling Mum and Dad about it.
All of this is true, by the way. These are like actual moments that I could have come out in.
Just wouldn't stop shouting in my head to just tell him what he wanted to hear so that he would go away.
Like, yeah, everything in this video is true. Apart from like some personal details, like my date of birth,
about 10 minutes before the session started.
Because I didn't want to like risk getting doxxed with actual information.
Weird. Whatever the reason, over the course of a few weeks, I expressed to her that.
No, yeah. Shannon just said. I think even if people don't exactly know what's going on, like with the shots and everything, it still communicates the ideas. And yeah, I'm
One
very
day
happy
she
that
brought
it
in a
still
social worker.
communicates the ideas of like
You just
the power
wouldn't
balance
shut up in
shifting.
my head.
Like the
You
fact that
just
they're both
kept
being shot face on
screaming
now, and they're both
screaming
in
that
mids rather than close-ups
If I
now.
said anything, Mum and Dad would
It
find
shows
out
that
and
shows
it would
that
be
the
game
power.
over.
It just makes you
I
feel
was
like they're on
13.
more
She
equal
was a
playing ground.
specialist. She could have acted as a protective buffer between me and my parents' ignorance, but no.
Also, a little bit of trivia. I had a boxing match 2 days
puberty.
before
I
this,
could
and
have
like had a massive
normal,
black lip
just female teenhood, but
which
no,
is actually
you just,
on this
you were
side.
too scared that Mummy and
So
Daddy would
I
get
had to
angry
wear
if
like
they found
quite a
out,
lot of
so
lipstick to cover it.
it just
Well, lip gloss more so to cover it.
tortured me.
Which
and he
is why I
said
kind of
that.
wish I'd flipped them and had
Everyone has to
Alice
take
on
me
this side and Frank on this side, because then we could have just. You don't really see the black lip. It is there,
Look,
but
I
you can't.
just wanted.
You see, yeah, you can kind of
Oh,
see it,
fuck off.
not massively. Just.
Look,
And I like your idea
and
that he has a
just-
black lip, and if we'd
I'm done
flipped
with
them
you.
either side, and you would have seen it in every shot he's in, and it would have just made him look way tougher and more sort of like people punched him in the face for being a dick before. Yeah, I was worried about this. I wanted this to feel awkward, but I didn't want it to. Yeah. Also, Eric, I think again pointed out that this pole just shows the distance between them and the fact that they're just never going to be in the same camp, and that was entirely by accident. There was just a pole there, and I couldn't remove it.
I'm sorry.
What?
When you were a kid,
The colour
being
setting is so
trans wasn't
inconsistent.
a thing, so I just thought you would some
My
confused little
biggest
boy, but
annoyance
I
is
had
that, yeah,
to
the
set
colour's
straight so that
inconsistent.
he wouldn't get hurt.
But
I
the
love
lighting's
Big Daddy.
inconsistent.
Come on, you remember the early years. 42 bones broken by the age of 13, ringing any bells? Someone suggesting suicide on a daily basis, ring any of yours?
I love that
Touche.
zinger. I love that I can just make Alice like just a super witty person.
I never
Um,
meant to hurt you. I looked at the world, figured out how you could fit in, and then tried to help. Your reluctantness to the basic ass plan is what necessitated
oh
heavy-handed.
my god, Purple, it's amazing. They're saying that there's a trans
Look, I
dude in their
understand
left
now
neural cousin's class, and like parents,
that
teachers, and all that are being really cool about it, and
what you needed
blockers
was
are
wrong.
even being talked about. So that's amazing. I love it. Thank
But
you.
in my defence, how was I meant to know?
Scream
if
at
you were
Alice,
being
deck him,
trans or
girl.
not? Do you not think maybe sentiments like that?
To be
about
honest, if anyone could, I
being
could.
Trans isn't okay.
But I also pictured Frank as
I've mentioned on this
I
channel
don't know,
before
kind of what I
our
would have
society
become
is
if I'd
cisnormative,
become
by
a
which I mean
hard-boiled egg
the life
rather
and
than
experiences
just
of
rather than
cisgender
hatching.
people are societally given a status of normal. If you don't agree with that, then ask yourself,
Junior Dawson,
when was the
gender
last time a
games.
cisgender person had to come out? The answer is never.
Never.
Because cisgender people are viewed as normal, as
I don't
the
really have anything else to
ideal.
say about
Their
this set.
experiences are continuously validated from birth.
If anyone wants to know
In fact, being
how
cisgender is seen as so normal
YouTubers
that
decide on what shots they're going to do, we
most
don't
people
film
even realise
the
there's a
whole
word for it
video in like close
But
up
here's
and the
the
whole
thing,
video in
cisnormativity is
wide
built
and
on
then pick
and
with the best bits.
perpetuates
We go for our
misunderstandings about
script
both
and
sex and gender.
what a lot
Like,
of people
firstly,
just have
it
their scripts in
conflates
Word
the two,
documents and they
which is
highlight
just
which
purely wrong. Sex
pages
and gender are entirely different things. And secondly,
which bits
it's
in like
just
makes
that
some
they're
bits
both
bold and makes some
binary,
bits
but
not
sex
bold
isn't
to
a
decide
binary. For
which
one,
ones they're going to
intersex
do in
people
close up,
exist.
which ones they're going to do in
For those who
in
don't know, intersex
wide.
people are those whose
I
biological
use
sex
script format.
doesn't neatly fit into the male
So
or female categories
oh
that we
god, I can't do
typically
this.
use. And now that I'm thinking about it,
I use script
actually,
format. So what I do is
trans people
basically
who medically transitioned also don't fit
read
into
go
those
through
categories
read type
neatly.
the whole thing, then I read through the script
But
and like
let's not
I
get on that right
put
now.
a line
More
break
about how fluid
and then
sexism
put
is
a new
with
shot when I want to
Gender.
cut to a new shot.
Gender isn't
Um,
binary either. It's
And
socially
then
constructed
like think of the best
therefore has
moments
a
where it'd be
lot of
nice to
flexibility
cut,
in
where it would feel
how it's
natural.
expressed
And I can remember
what it is.
about a page of
Now, if you're
dialogue now,
cisgender, then
so it's about a
none of
minute.
this nuance really affects
Um,
you because your sex and your gender both neatly fit
Just through
into that
practice,
binary
just because I've
caste
been doing this
system.
for like 10 years now.
That means that
and-
cisnormativity just provides
yeah,
you with the privilege.
That's
of
how you do it, and then
never
you
having to
only you
question
just
your
shoot all of the
identity. I've
close-up
never
bits, and you shoot
fully
all of the wide
understand
bits, and then you
sex
shoot
and
all of the
gender.
medium bits.
You just get
or
to live
what you
your lives
want to
from
do
birth
close-ups, mediums, and
Being
wides.
told
That's
that
how I do anyway.
Your life and experiences are just
Because then you can just keep zooming out and
I guess
coming
it's really
back.
no wonder that
And,
most cisgender
yeah.
people don't ever think to
The
question.
point is that you want it to be as engaging as
system
possible and
construction
have
of our
as much of a
society
flow,
But the positive effects
so
is
that people don't
negativity,
notice
but
for
cis
cuts.
people get to enjoy.
And yeah, hard-boiled egg.
people.
It's something I came up
Instead,
with like
from
last
birth,
week.
it tells
I
us that
realised that there's
our
like,
experiences and lives
so we know
are
that an egg is a
abnormal
trans person
but
who
we're
has yet
meant
to
be
realise they're
ill
trans
for
and
being
haven't
who
come
we
out
are,
yet.
But we should
Well,
want to be and
then a
strive our
hatchling is
hardest to
somebody
be,
who
and
is like
failing
just
that,
come
at
out and they're
least
like
try
still
our
finding their
hardest to
feet.
appear to be as cis as
What
possible.
happens to those
The
people who
ridiculous
get so
levels
much
of
internalized
privilege
transphobia,
come with the
but they
price
never
tag
come
of
out?
our suffering.
Like, and then they get
It's
so
not my
so
fault they
kind
was
of
felt that way.
gruff
Yeah,
that they
but you
never
didn't question
properly
it, you
come
just
out.
accepted
I
all
call
the
them
lies and
hard-boiled eggs because you
forced
can
me to
break out the
hate
shell of a
myself for
hard-boiled
not
egg,
being
but
cis
it's still going to stay in that form. It's going to like
doesn't
resist ever
mean
being like a nice
hurt you.
sort of runny
You
egg.
just wanted me to be
And
happy
also,
and healthy,
when
right?
you hard-boil
Exactly.
a
I was
fertilized
told
live
what a boy
egg,
was, and you fit
it-
that perfectly.
it dies,
So,
the
The
chicken
arguments from
dies,
biology just make
and
so
you're
much
never
sense.
able to come out.
exactly.
Until you realise they're all just arranged by people who haven't taken into account their own cis biases.
Yeah, so he tried to take some power back, which means that the shot went underneath him and on top of her. But he can't. He's lost. He doesn't have any power in this situation anymore. Snell pointing down at him and up at Alice. I was going to wait until we cut to her, but fuck
I've
it.
got a lot to unlearn, haven't I?
Yep. I'm not happy with that
There's
shot,
how much I can
but it
do
works for
to
the
make it fun.
narrative and the function of the story.
19 years of torture.
Not really. I'm so happy with the music in this.
You can stop indirectly harming trans people.
Oh, this bit is so poorly scripted.
Just educate yourself. Learn to understand that being cis is just one way to be a person.
It sounds like a PSA
being
and I
trans is
hate
just
it.
as far away.
It sounds like a
Might take
PSA and I
some
hate
time.
it.
You realise you're asking me to change my entire worldview.
If you come out, no,
Really, I'm
Gashin, if
asking
you
you
come
to
out late, you're not
trust people
hard boiled.
and tell you
Hard
what their
boiled is like
identity
those
is
people who never come out because
Again,
they
it's a lot of new
are
information to
transphobic
digest,
in some
so
fashion.
it might take you a little
Like, you
bit
know
of
that
time to
they're rare. Hard boiled
figure
eggs are
out.
rare, but yeah.
At least there's one thing you can do right now. Untie me.
Alice, your arms out to stack him. I'm tied up. What am I meant to do? Oh, also, can we? Oh, everyone's really gonna be really excited for this, but I just want to cut to.
At least there's one thing you can do right now. Untie me.
So, again, because Eric is fantastic at doing aggressive readings of media, the fact that we come to the ladies' toilet, I didn't think about this. I just like wanted to prove that I could. The only reason I did the toilet scene is because I wanted to prove that I could do it. But there's a kind of metaphor here of like coming out in the ladies' toilet is like I've been saying to Frank, just let me be normal, just let me be a woman, just let me go to the public bathroom that fits my gender. I just want to pee. I just want to live normally. You're the one who's making a big deal out of everything. And like the women's bathroom is a very sort of zeitgeisty, timely metaphor for that. It's coming out into the women's bathroom from this horrible conversation, from this traumorous conversation, is fantastic. Like the only metaphor I had for this was basically, I was in a shitty situation and I've come out of a shitty situation. So like, where do shitty situations live? Live in the toilet. It was very shallow. Actually, you know what, Sean, I'm gonna give you wrench powers. That should have given you the wrench powers. Fantastic. Throw your body at him, yeet the fucker. I mean, we wouldn't really have the film if it just turned into a big fight. This toilet scene is such a good Trainspotting cut back law. Yeah, it's definitely a massive homage to Trainspotting, which is why I have the poster throughout the video, so that people don't say you just ripped off Trainspotting and act like I was trying to hide it. Well, I just I mean, I had it in a video, so I wasn't like trying to hide it, was I? Musicist student, there's another, I don't really know. Yeah, I love the metaphor of coming out in the women's bathroom. And then I'm not going to go into full detail. There's a really detailed breakdown of like how I developed this effect, how I like built it, how I executed it, how I made it look good and real, on Patreon for like $5 plus patrons. So I'm not going to like, it would kind of cheat them out of their money if I do that now, just sort of set it here. So I'll go into a little bit of detail, but I'm not going to go into massive. But the main thing is like the music changing from scene to scene, and like the door and the establishing shots, it all builds tension. Like we've just come out of this really tense scene, and now this is like a nice sort of blue, notice it, environment. And then this happens. We're just like, wait, what? What's going on? And so many people have said to me that they were just so tense watching this entire sequence of me coming out of the toilet. But when I go to the hand dryer and just dry my hands, everybody bursts out laughing. And it's meant to be a joke, but I didn't realize it would hit that well. And I'm very happy that it hit as well as it did. But also, this entire scene was shot silently. I had no sound in the edit at all. I had to record over 57 different unique sounds and edit them into the thing and mix them at different levels so that it would work. But there's a slight squelch there. You can't really hear it though. Yeah. Oh, and let's just listen. And it just fades into the sirens of the high street, and I love it. And everybody is probably losing their mind, saying, "Alice, how did you do the toilet thing?" I'll explain later.
Transmedicalists such as say that they're transgender.
Does everybody else just hear Blair White when I say that? Because a lot of people have said that they just hear Blair White when I say that. And the name I did say is Blair White, but I loved the joke of just saying no promo. Yeah, it's great.
But in essence, what they're really saying is that to be trans is to be mentally ill.
Hi,
which is a transphobic statement, simple, but it's also one that reinforces the cis-normative social structures that harm trans people daily.
Oh, no, at least 57. I lost count, and I just had to get it. It was also I edited that on the last day before releasing it.
But
so
people have said it before millions of times on this platform alone. So
I'm not interested in prattling on about it again.
But I've never seen anyone tackle or question the take on mental health that transmedicalists seem to have. So
yeah, why does no one approach them in that sense? Why does everyone just say, "Oh, well, they think gender's in the brain"? They can really explain why they don't think it's in the brain. But no one really explains why transmedicalists are transphobic. Oh no, wait! I need to go back. I need to show off about some sound editing. Listen to me walk away. I stand on the leaves, it crunches, and it just fades into the spraying of the shower, and I'm just so happy with it. Then, we also, if we just, I was really worried about how to transition this, but we follow this towel, and look, now there's a big white thing here as well, and this cuts our eye to this.
In the English-speaking West,
and then, unfortunately, it doesn't line up perfectly, but
oh well. For example, if a bunch of people have been diagnosed with depression recently, then
there's a lot of things like that. There's a lot of cuts in this where my head is here, and then I cut to like Frank, and my head is also there, and it's yeah, I don't know. No, I'm just really happy with editing. Okay, Sean needs to go, so I'll explain the toilet thing. Basically, the cubicle is a set. It's a set, and then there's a hole in the wall. So I just had a hole in the wall, and I climbed out of the hole. Yeah, that's how it was done. Does that explain it? Is that happy? I made you a mod because like I make people that I know mods. I make collaborators and friends mods. So welcome to the mods gang. You're a spanner. That's a bit mean. Basically, occasionally when people swear, use a swear word, it will say this needs approving, and you now have the power to approve it. You don't have to. You can just come here and enjoy it. It's more so just a status symbol of like you're somebody that I've collaborated with or are friends with. Don't worry, it's not a big thing. But yeah, that's the toilet thing. The most detail I'm going to give you is that I basically chopped a bit of the toilet away, cut a hole in the back wall, and then climbed through the back wall and then through the toilet and just did a lot of acting. And obviously being wet sells the effect because there's obviously no water in there. All the sound effects sell the effect. And because obviously shot silently. And it's just a lot of acting and spluttering and coughing and like the spitting out water, that sells the effect. It's just lots of little things I had to consider. But the main effect is basically I cut a bit of the toilet away and built a set, which is a replica of one of the cubicles in the location we were shooting in. And then you had the set, then you had the toilet. There's a hole in the back wall, and then you have the toilet here. And I just crawl through the back wall, up through the toilet, and then out of the toilet. Like, yeah, that's the effect basically. Sean, I didn't cut a hole through a toilet. There's already a hole in a toilet. There's already a hole in a toilet. So that, I mean, if people want to understand fully, they can go and read the 2,000 words complete full process breakdown on Patreon. Like, you can even just, if you just want to see that, you can just pay to view that and then just cancel your subscription. But the basic idea is that it's just a set, and then there's a hole in the back wall, and I just cut a bit of the toilet away so that it was easy to just crawl through. But I'm literally just crawling through a toilet. No, yeah, I like built the toilet stuff and shot the toilet scene stuff. Back in May, June time. Like, yeah, I shot it back in like May, June time. It was a while ago. And yeah, a toilet is small, but I'm small. That's what I mean. I cut a bit of the toilet away. Like, I cut some of the inside away, so that it was still, so I could crawl through it. But like, it still just crawled through it. But yeah, that's as much detail as I can give away without really gypping the people who actually donate to me on Patreon. Because like, part of the perks is that you get fully behind the scenes stuff if you're like a $5+ patron. So if I post that there and then just say it all here, it's kind of gypping them out of their donations. So that's as much detail as I can get, and really that's as much detail as I had from train spotting, and then had to figure the rest out. There's already a hole in the toilet. You're not toilet sized. I did cut a little bit of the toilet away so that I could fit through more easily, but like, yeah.
That down to each of them having low serotonin levels.
Right, we're almost done, and then people who are still about, we can just hang out.
Their own personal psychologist, and that will fix the chemical imbalance within each of their brains, and they'll also be advised to. But it's a very different story.
Frank, you have broad shoulders, Alice. Alice literally climbs through a toilet.
Ended up killing 616.
That's true.
People.
Although that is after I've been on hormones for about a year. No, it's not. It's after I've been on hormones for like 6 months. 6 months. So like the muscles were, and I've been boxing. So no, that's not. My shoulders wouldn't have even been smaller. Oh, yeah. Which, I'm just flexing. Look, I can get really small.
Being horrifically contaminated.
Also,
back then, people don't.
I'm just going to keep playing. Also, I was a stage manager in the community theatre when I was like between 17 and 18.
He was able to
and
find a root cause
one of the places we did was Greece, and because I was so, and basically we had to have the car come out and stop, and then they had to dance on the car, and then it had to be able to be pulled away. So the handbrake needed to be pulled on, but the director didn't like how it looked when like a stage hand dressed in a boiler suit went in and did it. So I got in the footwell, and then just put the handbrake on from inside the car.
Why don't we see?
I'm
the
a
same
small
kind of
person,
things
peeps.
written?
Like I was
Why don't we
in
look
the
at the
passenger seat
environmental
footwell,
and
just with my arm like that, so that
societal
I
structures
could
that they live within? Why do we
do
just
the
say that
handbrake just on
trans
the seat.
individuals
Yeah.
have gender dysphoria because
I'm a
of
small
who they
person.
are,
I'm a small
and then just
girl.
leave it at that?
I know
The
that
short answer
everyone
is
probably
because
thinks I'm
schools
super tall because
psychology
everyone on YouTube
got
is super
that
tall,
back in the field
but I'm not.
dominating.
Everybody
There are many
but me is
schools
super
of
tall.
psychology and
Like
most take an
what?
individualistic
Me
approach,
is
but
5'7".
community
Not no.
psychology
Me is like
is radically
6'7".
different.
I think
It
Natalie
looks at
Wins
patient symptoms and then
quite tall
suggests
as well.
that
Ollie's
the
quite
societal
tall.
positioning
Eric's
of
quite
the
tall.
patient
Everyone's really
could
tall
be a major
apart from
cause,
me.
if not the cause, of their mental health struggles. If a poor person who works 10 hours a day in a factory comes in with depression,
Oh,
then
also,
a psychologist
like, literally
takes a community
2
approach,
days
may
before I released
suggest
TOFA,
that
somebody
tough
released a
socioeconomic
video
placement and
saying,
demanding
here's some like
job
small
is the
lefty
cause of
trans
their
creators that you
illness.
should
After
all go
all,
watch.
because
And
of
like
those
they
things, they're not
obviously
getting the
added me to the
necessary
list
social
last
interaction
minute,
or rest
and they
needed
like
to maintain
showed
healthy
my
life.
most recent video on social
Whereas
constructs
a
and like literally
psychologist
said
who
it's
takes
like
an
social constructs
individualistic
feeding the lower
approach
chroma. I haven't
will
watched
just
the video,
look at that
but like from what
individual
I
patient
know,
and determine if they
Alice is like lefty leaning,
have low serotonin
or at least like
So why
liberal
individualistic
lefty
approach to
leaning.
psychology so much more
And
prevalent?
it was
Why
really,
can't we
really,
give community
I felt like a
psychologists
bit
the
of a
way to
smack in the
help
teeth, to
people
be honest,
is to
because
give
like
them fewer working hours,
I was
higher
included
wages,
as like an
and better
afterthaught.
working
It was very
conditions.
clear.
Whereas if you
And then
believe the
also
individualistic psychologist,
they
then
said that I
this is
seemed
just
more
a
like a
self-report,
liberal who was lefty leaning.
expensive drug
So that I was
comparison.
very
Now
happy
imagine that
when
your personality
in this
power to
video
do
I just
either
go
of those
full
things
out
in
sort of
1960s.
communist and like, hey, maybe we should like, community psychology, guys.
Excuse me, sorry about that.
Society is the
Which
problem.
of those two things are you going to back?
I was really
with your
annoyed
ill
at how I was
exploitively
included in that video.
gained money?
Because I wasn't
Quick side note, drugs and therapy
giving them
are
as charity.
important. They help
Everybody
people
else was like
manage
giving you
the
sort of
illness
like
they
nice
already
little
have,
log lines of
without
like this is what they
changing the
do.
societal structures that are at
And then
the
I was
root
just sort of
of
like,
those
hey,
illnesses.
there's also this person. I don't know
And
anything
people
about
are
her, but
getting
like
better.
she seems to be
You
getting
can
some
give somebody
traction.
an
So cool.
inhaler, but if the smoke starts polluting the air right
I feel like
next to their house
it's
that's
kind of my
still
life on the
there,
internet right now.
then they're never going to get better. It's the
How
same
tall am
with
I? Tall am I?
identity. It forces trans people to
5'8".
internalize transphobic
Might be
rhetoric
5'7".
so that they can more effectively code switch
What is that
and
metric?
avoid confrontation. I mean, I've had to do it before.
5'8"
but
inches
internalizing
in centimeters.
Bigotry creates a
What would you like to
toxic
convert
mindset
into
where you start
centimeters?
to see yourself
5
in
foot
the same
8
way that those
inches.
who hate you see you.
Sorry, I missed what
And
you
that's
said. What
frickin'
would you like to
distressing.
convert into centimeters?
5
So
feet.
distressing, in fact, that it can lead to the development of
152.4
dysphoria
centimeter
or
to meters.
other conditions.
Okay.
But while
So,
we keep treating transgender people like
I'm
freaks
about
by
about
normalising
170
cis people
centimeters.
to a ridiculous extent, we're never gonna
Why am I not
see
in bed? I don't
gender
know,
dysphoria
Sean.
and
Why are you not in
suicide
bed?
decrease within the
And there's not
transgender
really
community.
anything left to say about this
If you want to
video.
help trans people,
Like, I'm very happy with how I ended it. The script is really good.
then the gaslighting
Like, it was a
needs to
first draft
stop.
as well, so I'm very
Trans
happy with
people
that.
are
There's only a
normal,
couple things that
just as
my
normal
friend
as
wanted me to
people.
like rephrase.
Maybe not as
Because I said
typical, maybe not as common.
there's like
maybe
two
we're
schools of
more
psychology.
diamonds
There's like
than house bricks,
individual,
but
the individualistic
we are just
school and
as
community
normal
school,
and just
and they
as
said, but I
valid.
should probably
So
say
stop
there's
forcing us
individualistic approaches to
be you.
psychology, and there's
'Cause we're not. We're us,
community approaches to psychology.
and we are fine the way we are.
Night, Sean. Go to bed. You need rest. Come on.
Let's get emotional.
So you're 1 centimeter taller than me. Yeah. Cool. If that's true. Oh, thank you, Sean. We need to talk about that other one. I blinked rather than winked. That was really bad. That's it. Good night. Yeah, I guess 171 centimeters. So communism is being besmirched. Oof, I know, right? I'm not really a communist. I'm a manager. Let's face it. Let's face it. I'm not really a communist. I don't have anarchy aids on half my clothing. Eric isn't doing an episodic live stream fortnightly game of Cyberpunk, in which one of the characters was described as being the most stereotypical punk kind of person ever, and they literally used one of my outfits as a reference point. I'm actually really happy that they did that. Like, yeah. I'm very happy that they did that. It was funny. Cool. Right. So now we can come back to the studio. That's why I have it. Anarchist gang. I don't know. I mean, communism, it feels like there's a lot more theory there, and to make a state work well. But anarchism, what? Hierarchy, unjust hierarchies are bad? Yeah, I agree. I once got into an argument well, not even an argument. Basically, somebody at a house party was talking about how they're communists, but they were doing it in that way of like Eric is Curio. Well, Curio is their channel. They're Eric. Right, so I was at a house party, and what was it? This guy had like a gaggle of girls around him, like 3 different girls, like all looking up to him, and I was like sat next to him as well. And they were all just like eyeing him like, oh my god, you're amazing, because he was like talking about communism, and like how he's a communist and how he's great at being a communist. And then what was it? Basically, I was like, oh, you like a leftist then? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, I'm a communist. Like, I think it was like the 7th time he'd said it. And I responded, oh, cool, I'm an anarchist. And then he literally does this. It's like he just rolls his eyes and like huffs at me. And it's like, fuck you, mate. So instantly, without even pausing a beat, and I'm so proud I did this, because I was like pretty drunk and like very tired. I'd been awake for like 18 hours at this point. I just instantly responded, oh, so why do you support unjust hierarchies? And his face just sort of dropped, and he was like, well, it's more complicated than that. And it's like, it's not really. That's the basic foundations of anarchism, mate. And then I just walked away. Sad, lonely, self-high five. Oh yeah, leftover vow type. I hate them. They're just... It very much seems like he was just sprouting out leftist theory to get girls. And it's like, fuck off, you misogynistic cunt. Imagine believing a state works after 1990 outstanding. Yeah, I was at a Halloween party, and he turned up there as well, because we have a mutual friend basically. My best friend's his friend. Like, I'm not gonna be too. Anyway, yeeted him. Well, I yeeted myself in a situation after like basically doing the verbal equivalent of that. But what was it? Yeah, he's also a tanky. I found out that he is a pro-Leninist. Yeah, he's a Lenin defender. He's a Soviet Union defender. You know, that famously bad totalitarian government, which called themselves communist. Alice, I am so random. I am so random communist. Tapa really. Sorry, communist. The cognitive society. You're either going to need to like do that in separate words, or I have no idea what you just said. But no, what is it? Basically, fuck him. He thinks that Lenin's good. And like he like literally came out as like, oh, I'm a tanky, and then like instantly me and this other guy that I was like flirting with that night were like, what? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. Probably just like, why did you bring it up? It's like, I don't want to get into an argument about it tonight. It's like, well, then don't have shitty opinions. If you don't feel like you can defend them, don't have shitty opinions. I don't know. Alice slams some random communist at a party. I slam him because he was a dick to me. Like I was going to engage him in like a nice sort of like leftist chat, like a sort of nasal gazing chat. And I sort of said, "Oh, so you're like a leftist?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm a communist." And it's like, "Oh, cool, I'm an anarchist." Ugh. And it's like, "Oh, all right, mate, fine. Why do you support unjust hierarchies then?" And he's just lost, so I walked away. Oh, Alice slammed some random communist at a party. Oh, that was your dyslexia trap. I know that's not what you meant it as. Don't worry. All right, okay, everyone's just saying it now. All right, I know what cognitive society said now. That should be a meme. What you mean the leftier than thou, like arsehole at a party. I mean, if somebody here is like a comic artist and they want to turn that into a comic, feel free. Like, I'll post for it now. It was like a leftist group. Like, everyone there was a leftist of some derision. So yeah, that's how he could get goals. And it was one of those sort of like ivory tower sort of like groups, who were all very well read and like leftyism, but like they're very all middle class. So I'm being really mean about that. I really enjoyed the party. It was a really nice party and a really nice crowd, but you know what I mean. So and I'm not like everyone there was really nice apart from him. But it was everyone there was a leftist, which is really nice. It was nice to be in a fully leftist space. But like I didn't really get the sense for like anyone there had properly struggled. It very much felt like everyone there was mostly people who read a lot of theory and that's why they're leftist. Not that they're leftist because they've seen their parents struggle or they've had to struggle or anything like that. But I don't know everyone who was there, so I can't really say that. That's very unfair of me to presume. Hey, can you get women? How? Okay, read that one from Tomo. This is why we all have swords. I have a sword in my coat rack. Actually. Well, it's a training sword because I used to want to be a stunt performer, but it's too expensive to get into. I was low-key into this guy once who's... This is Miss Lola, by the way. I was low-key into this guy once who started going off about what an amazing and 100% redeemable guy Stalin was when he found out I was a history student. Fucking hell. No! He was a genocider. If you think that some of his politics are okay, I'm gonna listen to you. But if you're defending the man... Oh no. Oh, yeah, Miss Lola. Oh no. I'd read that blog post in a second if you posted that convo. I mean, so here's the thing. My best friend... Well, I have 3 best friends. But like, one of my best friends is his friend. And they still get on with him. It's like, I don't want to like drag him through the mud too much. But it was a very unpleasant conversation, and every interaction I've had with him thus far has been unpleasant, and I don't really like him. If my friend likes him, fine. They obviously have a history in the past and like a deeper connection, and I'm not gonna like have a go at them for knowing him more deeply. I have no intention or interest of getting to know him more deeply than I already do, because he's been quite unpleasant to me thus far. He's not transphobic or anything like that, so no one goes saying that because like half the people at that party were trans, and he was like being nice to them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I mean, I could type it up as a script and like post that to Patreon as some bonus content. I'd probably make that for like $1 patrons and above, because that's like just some random thing. But well, that's an idea. I could like post little scenes, because I do write scenes fairly often, so that could be a nice little patron thing. I'd read. Oh, I'm an idiot. I misread Zazi's comment. It was at Miss Lola. I would read that. Yeah, I would also read that in a heartbeat. Just like how he tried to explain how Stalin's a good person. What are your sword types? I had trained with Victorian saber. I did a little bit of longsword, but I just didn't enjoy it. But yeah, Victorian saber is my sword type. I need a sword. I'd love to get my hands on a World War II era cavalry saber, or a decent replica. But I'm too poor. Yeah. Also, what do you do with a real sword? I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable using them in combat. Look, at Miss Lola, I think there is some historiographical of the Soviet Union that needs reviewing. Re how much blame Stalin gets, but redeemable he is certainly not. Yeah, obviously there was a lot of people involved. I'm not going to comment on this. I'm not a history person. I make films. I studied art and design in GCSE, and then studied filmmaking at uni, and didn't graduate, but don't tell anyone that. And then what? Just making films now. I'm not academically minded at all. Have you seen Death of Stalin yet? I have. I don't. It was fine. I'm not really big into those brothers, to be honest. The films are well made, but they're boring, in my opinion. I haven't seen No Country for Old Men yet. I do need to watch that. Yo, I didn't miss it. Aaron, if you're just getting here, you have missed the commentary, but we're hanging out now, and we're gonna hang out for as long as people want, until I'm too tired to not hang out basically. What are we going? Ooh, I would love scenes. Yeah, Laura, I might do that. Because I write little scenes here and there, just keep my fictional mind moving and like oiled. So I might just post some scenes every now and then. I'm not gonna hold myself to like one a month or anything like that, because I've already got enough stuff on schedules that it's stressful. I think a lot more leftists need to understand the historical figures are often grey. A big difference between saying Stalin was inherently and Stalin did nothing wrong. I mean, yes, agreed. But this guy wasn't saying that Stalin was interesting. He was very much like saying that he liked the Soviet Union. So I think that he liked Stalin. It was like, okay, if you want to say that Stalin's interesting, I'm here for that conversation, and I'm here to like listen to what you have to say on the subject, especially because I'm not very educated about it myself. But if you're going to say that Stalin was a good guy, then go away. Yeet into the volcano of bad opinions. Yeah. Because anyone who thinks that Stalin was a nice man or a good man needs their moral compass realigned to the magnetic spectrum of morality. Largely to seduce women. Duel your ex is a local industrial estate. What? Duel your duel your ex in a I'm on fairly decent terms with all my exes. Like, our relationships ended because they weren't going particularly well for either of us. So we made mature decisions to stop. I got a little bit clingy in one of the breakups, but yeah. Do you find the leftists often fall victim to great man theory? I often spot a huge adulation for my leader who led changes, not the society or systems that made changes. I did not mean to hijack your convo. I'm sorry. Your film was so amazing. No, don't worry. I'm perfectly happy for us to like talk about communism for a little bit. And like great man theory. That sounds really interesting. Also, Zazie has a podcast called Leftist Thinking. And if like Miss Lola and Zazie, if you two got together and like did a podcast, I would listen to that in a heartbeat because this conversation is really interesting. I just don't know how deep you can really get into conversation in this format. But I'm definitely here for this conversation. This is a conversation I would really love to just listen to. But the fact that I kind of have to be the arbiter of like reading it out. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that's a unique leftist. Great many academic historians are a little too black and white. Agreed. I don't want it to combat. I want it to swagger. Well, we're back on swords. Classy dress, elbow gloves, and a saber. I love it. No, that's a good aesthetic. Although you would mostly just have to have the sheath and like a handle without a sword if you want to walk around with it. A police officer will stop you, but then if you just show them that it's just like a glued on handle, then they can't really have a go at you. Well, they can have a go at you, but they can't. You're not doing anything legal. I don't want it for. Yep. I agree. People who did evil things didn't get up in the morning say, "I want to eat babies," but it doesn't make them good. Yeah, exactly. Great, Aaron. I think that's the perfect way to put it. Really, like, I think there's some evil people who did a little bit get up and was like, okay, so how many deaths are we doing today? Killer for one, maybe. I don't know. People, yeah. Everyone thinks that they're the hero of their own story. That's rule one of filmmaking. If you want to make a movie about a dictator, you have to understand where the dictator is coming from, and it can't be that they're evil because then they're a cartoon. You need to understand what they actually want. So, what? For example, like Hitler wanted an ethnic state. If you want an ethnic state, I don't really know how. I don't know the thought process that thinks that that's a good goal, but that's a moral goal. I don't know how you can't know that you're racist at that point, but somehow people do that. That's cognitive dissonance, surely. I have no idea. Where were we? Our balls. Oh well, it's still cool to hang out. No, yeah, Aaron, and you can always go back and like watch the rest of this later if you want. Cog, you're insane. Barbecue sauce is a good side to have with them. Oh my god, can we? Oh, this is. I know it's a joke, but really. I just want to say thanks again for the Terra Franconatus. It was a really good piece. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, Purple Orange, yeah. I'm really happy with it. It's a story I've had in my head since like 2016, and I'm really happy with how it came out. It's great. Okay, well, it's past 1 a.m. here, so I'm going to go to bed. Thanks for the fun stream. Good night, all. Night. Wait, where are you? Are you like in Germany? Starting was just something Tony Soprano laughed my ass off. Agreed. It made me cry a little as it reminded me of my own anxiety and issues. Oh, Aaron. I didn't mean to make you cry. I made a lot of people cry. Apparently, that wasn't the goal. This is I'm going to read. This is something that a lot of people have asked. How was the emotional labor of performing as Frank? Bizarrely, like you would have thought that there would be like a lot of emotional labor of having to play a guy, Here's the thing. I have dysphoria. I have some insecurities. Like, I'm a little bit insecure about, like, how shadowy my eyes are because of my eyebrow. And how thick my eyebrows are. But I don't have dysphoria. Because, like, I'm going to make a whole video on this about why dysphoria is bullshit. But, I don't have dysphoria. So, it didn't trigger my dysphoria. And it didn't trigger any, like, because here's the thing, I dressed up as Frank, and then I looked like a drag king. I looked like a woman dressing up as a dude, and like every movement I made, I had to like properly think about how do guys move? How do I like make myself move like a guy? And it was, I had to like properly practice like movement and speech and all that sort of stuff. And I failed at a speech. Like, I was trying to like talk down here, which is like low of naive. Like, I used to talk here. This is like how I talked before I came out, and now I talk like here, which is a little bit higher, a little bit, but not much. But like I was trying to talk down here for Frank, and I didn't really hit it, for most of it. So yeah, it was a lot of work actually to actually convincingly play a dude. I don't really feel like I did it. I feel like I look like a person dressing up. The aggression really helped. Like, somehow it's really easy. It's much easier to play an aggressive dude than it is a sincere dude. And maybe that's because of some like toxic masculine tropes within our society. But yeah, it's really weird that was easier. But it wasn't shocking or anything. One of my flatmates saw me in the makeup and asked, "Wait, so do you wear a wig?" They assumed that this was my wig. But no, I just pulled his hair back, folded over, put the wig on, and like didn't do any makeup, didn't shave for like what was it, a whole week, I believe. Like a week and a half of not shaving, and then my makeup artist friend helped me by highlighting the facial hair and making it look thicker. I did as much physical acting as I could to convincingly play a dude. Like, I tried to make myself much heavier and like have a wider gait and all this sort of shit. But it wasn't emotionally draining at all. One thing I did think about was my friend who was the body double for Alice, like the person who was when you can see Alice in the frame and when I'm playing Frank, it's a body double. It's my friend doing it, and I was very worried about their emotional safety because I was going to have to like shout some pretty horrible things in their face. So I rang them up the day before we did it and was like, "Hi, I just had this thought. Are you comfortable? Are you going to be comfortable with all of this? I want you to know that I'm not saying anything of it to you. It's the character saying in it, and it's character saying it to the other character. I want to make sure that you're okay and safe, and emotionally ready to play that role because it is going to be quite a heavy emotional role." And they were very thankful for me doing that, and that's something that I don't think many people think about when it comes to heavy roles like that. And that's, I'd argue, professionalism. Actually thinking about people's emotional safety. And then I also, the person who had to play Frank's body double when I was playing Alice and like be mean to me, I asked them and they were much more fine with it because they were like very professional. They're actually someone who has been an AD for a while and like knows what's going on with that. Whereas the body double for Alice is just a friend of mine. And also the body double for Alice, to mitigate any emotional damage that scene could have caused them or any like stress it could have caused them. We shot all of the shots with them in the foreground, and then they were able to like go away, and we did the rest of it with an empty chair. So that they didn't have to sit there and have that crap shouted at them for the whole thing. It's past 1 a.m. Starling, crying. I make my villains often for the very definition of the villain is the hero of their own story, and the path to hell is paved in good intentions. Yeah, you put that in quotations, but no, it's because they are quotes. But yeah, that's the best way to approach writing a villain. Like Frank, for example, I wrote Frank as the hero of his own story. He very much believes that what he is doing is trying to protect Alice. Like he very much sees it as like being, oh no, I want to like, you doing the stuff that you want to do puts you in danger. Me doing what I'm saying you should do is safer. You should do what I say to do so that you survive. And he believes that, but over the course of the video, that belief gets shown into doubt, and he eventually crumples and realizes that his efforts have been actually abusive rather than helpful. Like he's actually quite a deep, complex character, especially on the page. I don't really feel like I was able to bring that complexity and that depth to him. But yeah. I don't want to get too soppy, but this is a lovely place to be right now. I need to a chill hangout like this. Aww. I am actually gonna. So I did an Instagram hangout, like live stream, which got a troll raid. My first troll raid, it was horrible. But I did an Instagram live stream, and that was really fun. Like I did it for like 3 hours. It was really fun. So I'm planning on doing that like once a week now, because it was just a lot of fun. So if you want to do more chill streams like this, just come on, follow me on Instagram, and we'll do stuff like this regularly. But like doing this on YouTube is a lot of effort to make it all work and function. So I'm not really going to do this more than once a month. Although I do also stream once a month on Patreon, and I am thinking of maybe because I have a live channel as well, which is Alice Quinrose Live. It only has 101 subscribers, which is why I still stream here. But algorithmically, it's better to stream over there. So I'm going to eventually start transitioning these streams over there. But I think to start with, I'm going to build the audience up over there a little bit by doing chill streams. So I was like thinking of ripping off Mia's streams, like getting Jackbox, and we can like just hang out and like play some Jackbox. That'll be fun. So yeah. But yeah, I like doing little chill streams. I've been going for quite a while. Crying is good for me too. Crying is good for me. Too much stuff held in due to toxic masculinity. Oh, babes. Oh, where did that approved comment go? I had a real good cry over TOFA. It was really cathartic. I needed it. Things have been a bit shit lately. I was about to start Headshot Evo, gender GP, but a lot of my income felt better since TOFA. I'm really happy that it helped. That it was actually useful for something. That's really nice and really sweet. Oh, babes. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy that TOFA was able to help you. And it was cathartic, because I was really worried that it would just feel really traumatic for any trans person watching it, because the intention was to make cis people understand what it's like to be trans. And I feel like I did that. A lot of cis people said that they feel like they were actually inside my head and like understood what I was going through, which is nice. But I was worried that it would be too much for trans people, but it's nice to see that it was like very cathartic, because it was only really the first half, not even that, the first third that was abusive, and then the rest of it was actually kind of cathartic, and it was a trans person shouting at the embodiment of transphobia, like institutionalized transphobia, and yeah, I can see how that would be cathartic. Although whenever I watch it now, obviously I don't really get those emotional beats. So it's been really interesting seeing how other people have been like engaging with it, and I love it. It's the best thing about making long form videos like this. Things are looking up. Hopefully going to be a librarian soon. Yay! We need more librarians. Librarians are the best. I love them. And their time is wasted just putting books back on shelves, which is why we need robots to do that for us. So I watched a Tom Scott video earlier this week. I think it says good things about you and the thoughts about your friends' feelings first and foremost. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. And yeah, just on the emotional labour thing. There's a good conversation about emotional labour in general here, since it's often ignored. Always best to check with people to see how they're feeling during heavy convos. Yeah, definitely. And also, like, if it's a work thing, like what I said at the end of the thing, emotional support is massively important. Because otherwise, yeah. Congrats. Yeah, congrats. Librarian. Woo! I read that as libertarian first and was confused. Oh, what was that? Oh, freaking shelf. Thanks. Oop, shit. Where'd that go? Thanks. Started volunteering at my local library soon, and applying for as many library jobs as I can find. Yay! Well, I wish you luck, babes. Frank was being very paternally. 'Twas a good example of how patriarchy socializes what men should be. Yeah, like I like that there is a lot of toxic masculine elements within him. And this is the thing. If I'd made a video essay, I wouldn't have been able to do as much. But making a short film, I covered like toxic masculinity, gender dysphoria, internalized transphobia, like cisnormativity, like I covered so much stuff. Just in like one of the scenes of Frank and Alice interacting. Might sound a bit silly, but Frank did make me think of the master from Fallout when you reveal his plan was for nothing. I don't play Fallout, but I'm gonna say that sounds cool. I'll ask Eric about the Fallout when I'm off for this. This is such a good stream. The importance of knowing how to write a good villain was relatable motivations is inclusive to many whole teams of writers. Yeah, and it's something that a lot of people forget. Like I didn't want to just make Frank, oh look, men are bad, men are transphobic. I wanted him to feel real. Like, though a lot of the things he said are things that people have actually said to me, and like it's more dramatized, but like my parents weren't, especially my mum, wasn't particularly nice about when I came out. And I had this thought of like, what a parent says when they are mean to their kid is, oh, well, I just want you to be happy and safe. And it's like, okay, well, I'm trans, so I can either be happy or safe. I know you want both for me, but both aren't an option for me because of the society we live in. So, do you want me to be safe and miserable for my whole life, or do you want me to be happy and have a higher chance of murder? Like, what is it that you actually want for me, Mum? And that's what the basic tension I wanted between Frank and Alice. He wants her to be safe and happy, but she can't be both. And she would rather be happy and a little bit unsafe than be miserable and perfectly cotton-wooled. Whereas he cares more about her just existing physically, because if she dies, he dies. Quantify. The Insta stream was very chill, and good. Yeah. Oh, Tammy, I didn't realize. Oh yeah, you were there. Yeah. Were you there when the troll raid happened? It was horrible. Frank was terribly relatable. I'm still having my own Frank vs. Alice struggle, though my Alice has mostly overcome. TOFA was a really powerful film. I showed a couple of my friends, and it moved them. Oh, I showed my dad, and he like said that it was a massively important film, and like he's really proud of me for making it. Which is really nice. Like, it was amazing. It means it's the classic, everyone is valid except me. If you see other people you think are valid have the same doubts, and they give you more ammo to fight them in your own head. Yep. Because like Frank tells you that, oh no, you're pathetic. Like look how good everyone else is. And it's like, well, no, everyone else has their own Frank and is like thinking that they're pathetic too, and like I'm great. So like maybe I'm actually not as bad as you say I am, cunt. Hi Annie. Not really. You're not really hopping into the dark side. I don't really see this as dark and sad. Maybe some people would. I unfortunately have to head off. But thanks again, Alice. I recommend TOFA as my video of the year, and I'm really glad I did. Ah, can't wait to see your future videos. Oh my god, babes, Miss Lola, thank you so much. We're back. We're back. Did this work? I don't know. I feel like it's gone now. I'm gonna keep it there. We're gonna start here. Fantastic. We're live on this one. Hi. People aren't here yet. Basically, hi Laura. I don't know, my internet's kind of weird. It just stopped. My internet just cut out. Oh, is it working now? I think it's working again on YouTube now, but we're here now. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it on both. Weird. Yep, it's back. Hi, I'm back. I've got some people on Instagram and I've got some people on YouTube, so this will be interesting. Hi Instagram. Hello to everyone who is now back on the YouTube stream. Sorry, my internet just died for like a second, and I don't know why. I'm just gonna stand between two cameras. This is really cool. I like this. I like that we're doing both. I'm watching both. Lag is crazy. My phone's on low battery. Yeah, the lag on YouTube is crazy. So maybe Instagram's better. But also there's a troll raid that happened on Instagram. So one person said that they thought, I think it was Akasupa, said that for people on Instagram who weren't on YouTube, basically we've been talking about my most recent video, TOFA, which, yeah, it's been great. Not living in 3020. One person said that Frankenhouse was like a masterclass in show don't tell storytelling, and yeah, thank you for saying that, because like I really wanted to tell a story rather than just, you know, make I don't know, make a video essay, because like I find video essays so boring. Well, not to watch, but like to make, which is why like I made TOFA, because, you know, Transformer 1 wasn't doing it for me creatively. What else did we miss? Lots of people saying the stream paused. No idea how Instagram streaming works. Can I see it through Instagram browser, or do you need... So, as long it's basically just how the story function works. So, on the Instagram browser, I believe you can look at stories. So, yeah. There's only 2 people watching on Instagram. There's 11 on YouTube, so I'm just going to keep both going. Okay, Aaron. Night. Hope you have a good sleep. She's becoming so powerful. It's that Dionysian Neville Longbottom that's in me. Tomo, is that you saying goodnight, or was that you saying goodnight to Aaron? If that's you saying goodnight, night. I'm back. We had a good streak. We've lost 10 people, but oh well, that's fine. Is it only Laura on Instagram now? Laura, is it only you on Instagram? Hi. So to be honest, because I don't know how long. It's almost midnight here, and I don't know how long the internet's gonna last again. So if anyone has any questions, now is your time to ask them. Basically, we'll just do a last round. Ask whatever questions you want to ask. They don't have to be related to TOFA. They can be related to whatever. And then I'll answer all the questions. And once we get to the end of those questions, I'll wrap up and say goodnight. And like say the last couple of things I want to say about like the future of the channel. Maybe I could say that now. What do you think of questions? Basically, I have a lot more long form videos in the pipe work. I have one on gender dysphoria. I have one on transgender healthcare. I want to make one about transgender children. I want to make one about transgender people in sport. I want to make one about whether or not there is a link between autism and transness, and if there is, what is it? And then there's also TOFA Part 2, which is a short film that I have been kicking around in my head for the past week since finishing TOFA. And I'm very... How is it more doing acting? I finished this thing on TOFA. Basically, there's going to be a TOFA Part 2 eventually, but I don't... It's very risque, and it's about sexuality a lot, so I don't really know if it's going to be allowed on YouTube, because the Wild West days of online video are dead. So it might have to actually go on Vimeo, and I'll just have to put a trailer leading people to Vimeo on YouTube. Laura asks, how was it doing more acting? It was weird, because I don't see myself as a good actor, but I think I actually acted quite well in TOFA. I don't think I brought the emotional depth to both characters that a proper actor could have, and I don't consider myself an actor, but I think like I did pretty alright, and like I remembered the lines well enough to be able to like do it okay. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I performed, but it was weird. It's not something that comes naturally to me. It's not something I like fully enjoy. It's something that I tried and it was alright at. Great topics I haven't really seen covered, but oh, for the video ideas, yes. They're all also very expensive videos that I'll have to make. They're not going to happen fast, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm back, Kazazi, but we're also like wrapping up, because I don't know how long my internet's going to last again. And it's also like midnight now, and I kind of want to sleeps. Yeah. Oh, looking forward to long form videos. Once I have the income again, I'll chuck a few quid on it. Thank you. I have been thinking about also opening a Ko-fi, so that because there's a lot of people who've been saying that they can't afford to like give monthly, but like they want to support. So I think I might open a Ko-fi so that people can give one-time donations. Because I closed my PayPal because it wasn't a very secure thing to have there. Took me a minute to find a keyboard, but you said something earlier about doing body language for Frank. I super relate to. Cis people tend to think transition is all surgery and meds. I know. And this is the thing. I never had masculine body language. Like, I was dating a trans guy who was in acting school when I first came out, and he needed somebody to like base movement off of. Like, they needed to act as somebody different, so they were gonna just like take movement from people in their lives and like do that. So they used me, and they were actually a bit uncomfortable portraying me because my body movement is so feminine, and my body movements have become more like I wouldn't have ever done that, and that was just a natural movement before, but and like I wouldn't have done this sort of thing or like that, which I just do naturally now. But like I would have sat like this before. This is how I just sat, and like I walk exactly the same as I did before. I have like slightly wider hips now because my body fat's moved around, but yeah, and like it is weird how much there is into that. Laura says that they think it was great acting wise, and thank you, Laura. Do I do any acting exercises? No, it was all just instinct. I mean, obviously the body language. I try to practice the body language a bit of like how to walk like a dude and how to like sit like a dude. But I'm not an actor. It's just something I've had to do for work, basically. What else we got? But the shift in my body language seems to register more than a lot of that. Yeah, because like your body language is what people read, and they don't realize they're reading it. But it's a language. That's what it's called. Like it's a language that they're constantly reading and that we're constantly communicating with. Like the fact that I sit like this, and like I do movements like that, and like talk like this, and like at the end of my sentences, I'll go up and in the end of a sentence sometimes like that. That communicates my gender more than any surgery I could get. Did you go over how to pull off the toilet bit? Yeah, so in depth afield. There's a stream on YouTube where I did a full director's commentary of it, and I covered it when we got to that part of the video. And also there's on Patreon for $5 plus patrons. There's like this full like 2,000 word full process breakdown of like from conception to upload of like how I came up with the idea and how I executed the idea. So I won't go over that again, but yeah. What else we got? Gendered body language is one of those things that's 10% battery on my phone. Gender body language is one of those things that once it's pointed out to you, you see it everywhere and you can't ignore it. I know, right? It's insane. I love it so much. Like that. Just, I love it so much. That's a very feminine thing to do. Bizarrely. I don't know what that is. It's a very cat thing to do. Meow. I made like a conscious choice in high school to perform more femininely, and yet it takes me 4 more years. Yes. I would like to thank the Catholic Church for granting me my nonsense juice. Oh. So wait, the Catholic Church gave you hormones? I'm confused. Cause that's cool, if that is what you're saying. Nice. Right. It's Friday, I get money today. Which is good because I've been eating beans and toast this entire week. Well, Cassiopeia, I wish you luck at breaking down those mental blocks. Sorry, I'm getting quite tired now. Unrelated, but really love for lighting. I know, right? Pink and green. Everyone just buy lighting, and like, I mean, I know I had red and blue color scheme, but I see that as much more like cliched heaven hell shit. Than buy lighting. But like red and green, pink and green it's a really good colour scheme, and I think more people should do it. I don't know. It's gonna be my colour scheme. Like I feel like everyone now just associates bylighting with Natalie Wynn, and all of those like left tube people in that corner. I want to like try something new. I want to like actually experiment with shot composition and characters and story, and like not having a piece to camera stuff in my next long form video, or like the next one that I'm approaching like the next long form video is I'm approaching like an essay because I want to challenge myself to do that. But the one after that, I'm challenging myself to not have any moments where I look into the camera and talk at you. It's going to be entirely a film, and I'm so excited to do that. What else we got? In-depth fulfilled sent a pink sparkly heart and a green heart, and the pink sparkly heart is my favorite heart emoji. So thank you. And yeah, pink and green. It's great. I what's this? Splatoon is the only good first person shooter game. What was I saying? By language talk, no, unrelated. But really love the lighting. Yeah. Woo, money. I know, right? I don't have to eat beans on toast for another week. It's also because it's Christmas, and like TOFA skinted me. Like TOFA skinted me, and then also it's Christmas, so like, I'm just out of money, and I can't save up for the next video, which is why I'm approaching the next one like a video essay, because then I don't have to spend as much money and actually making something good. Which is really shady, Alice. Making something that I would deem good if I made it. If somebody else made a video essay, then I would be very happy with what they've made. I just personally don't feel very creatively or emotionally fulfilled when I do that. I would like to thank for Catholic Church, sipping my nonsense juice. Sipping from my nonsense juice of I'm not trans, I'm cis. I just want nothing associated with my AJAB. Where's for G in relation to vid C? Quite close. Do you mean ACAB? No, I don't know what AJAB means. Sorry. For Catholics delayed me in realising for that time. Yeah. Excited for that. Oh, Laura's over here now. Which one's Laura on? Laura, you're moving. Oh, that's weird, because like this YouTube is mirrored, so like that's right, whereas this isn't mirrored. So when I look there, on this one I'm looking that direction, on this one I'm looking that direction. That's really weird. Hi, Alice. I'm going insane. Assigned gender. Okay. Fair. I have you surrounded. Good. You won't take me life. What's with the grit in teeth in depth? Is it because I'm being cringy as hell? Because I've gotten a little bit. On the body language thing, I felt very recently that I felt like I should work to do more things that are stereotypically feminine, because a lot of my body movements seemed masculine in my view. Here's the thing. Are you comfortable in how you portray yourself? If you're comfortable in how you portray yourself, you'll... So I never tried to act more femininely. I I slowly gained more confidence as I became more comfortable within myself, and like dismantled the transphobic structures that had been implanted within my brain by cis-normative society, and then, what was it? It just naturally, from becoming more comfortable in myself and like becoming more confident, I just started to think less, and like my body movements just changed naturally. So don't think about like changing your body movements. Just, I don't know, work on becoming more confident. Fake it till you make it, and then like eventually you'll be more happy with how you are. And if your body language changes because of that, fine. But like, don't. If you have like a quirk that you don't like, then fine, work on it. Like I used to do this thing when I was little, where I would like lick all my fingers because they would get dry. And like obviously I worked on that because it was gross. That was quite gross. Yeah. I could have faked that. I could have just gone and not licked anything. But if there's a quirk you want to change, like if you don't like your gait and you want to try and walk more catwalky, then I don't know. First, ask yourself why you want to walk like that, because like it's uncomfortable a little bit. And then if you're like think that will definitely make you feel more comfortable within yourself, do it. And a way to like train yourself to walk like that is to walk in heels a lot. And then after you've walked in heels a lot, you'll just get into that rhythm. Hey Mina, I'm streaming on both YouTube and Instagram at the same time. Also, hi Clara. Nibble. It's an inside joke which no one on YouTube or Instagram is going to get. Right, think I might end both streams. Cause I'm very sleepy. And I haven't had a third meal today. Right? I had electrolysis in my body. No, I didn't. I had laser. So my body needs energy to recover. Right, yeah. There doesn't seem to be any more questions. The walk was the main, and I found myself just exceedingly consciously effort to walk differently. Fair enough. If that's how you feel would make you feel more comfortable, go for it. I thought I can say that to other people, but I can never say that to myself. Right. There doesn't appear to be any more questions. I appear to have like covered everything. We've got a cool color scheme on this channel. There's lots of cool stuff to come. I need more money to be able to do that shit. TOFA was great. Thank you for all the support on it. It's gotten me to almost 2,000 subscribers. I do want to hit 2,000 over the next month. I've only got like 50 to go. So as long as I upload a video, it should be fine. Yeah. Cool. Good night, everyone. Good night, Instagram. Thank you for turning up for this parachute stream. My phone died, so I didn't have to do anything. Haha. The social body language thing that consistently jams me up, opens doors, and Jen's presentation thing. Cool. Well, I'm gonna go to bed. If you want to continue this conversation, then I suggest somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. I'm happy for you to gum up my notifications on Twitter, so like you can go to the promotion tweet about the stream and keep this conversation going if you want to keep talking to each other. Night. Loved talking to you all. I didn't do anything.